All right, so look, there is something happening in the black community right now. People are starting to notice that the street culture is dying, that the gangbang culture is dying, that the self-destructive culture that we've been living, that has been promoted to us by the powers that be, is dying. And I don't say that with regret. This is a good thing because, let's be real, what we thought was gangster was not even ours. It was a minstrel show. It was scripted for us. It was a culture encouraged by the system of white supremacy, pumped into our ears through the music, pumped into our eyes through the movies. They sold it back to us until we started believing that that was who we really are. But deep down, I think we always knew that that was not the real truth. You see, the problem was never the gang itself. The gang is just the community, just the tribe, just the village. It's just the circle that comes together to survive in a hostile environment. That instinct to form a group is natural, it's powerful, it's divine. The problem was when that group, when that collective got turned inward, when it became self-destructive. It became a problem when we started destroying ourselves instead of defending ourselves. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's dying. That's the part that people are sick of. That's the part that filled the graveyards. That's the part that fills the prisons. That's the part that left too many mothers crying. So now we're rediscovering what gangster really means. Because I don't think that being a real gangster is about proving yourself through destruction. I think the real gangster shit is being in alignment with yourself, with the people around you, with your environment, hell, with the universe. That's some gangster shit. Real gangster shit is having the ability to take your circumstance, no matter how heavy, no matter how terrible, and turn it into power. Empowering yourself through spiritual alchemy is some gangster shit. To utilize the supreme circumstance of your mind to bend reality is some gangster shit. To use your mind to manipulate atoms of the universe at will is some gangster shit. Especially if you're doing that to create peace, power, and abundance, not for yourself, but for the world around you as well. That's gangster. That's power. Because the universe tells us that everything exists in a state of infinite quantum probabilities until our mind, until consciousness, until our perception collapses those infinite quantum probability waves into physical particles with defined states. Basically, all that means is that your mind, your focus, your perception creates reality. So imagine a gang, not of destruction, but of consciousness. People moving in sync, collapsing the probability waves of the universe into physical particles with defined states. But as a group, that's some real gangster shit right there. That's universal law in motion. You see, your gang should be everything. The 5 elements. I didn't say 4, I said the 5 elements. The earth, the wind, the fire, the water, the spirit, the ether, whatever you want to call it. Your gang should be nature. It should be the elements. The trees, the wind, the animals, the soil, the sun. Your gang should be the ancestors, universal law, the cosmic rhythm that governs everything. Because walking in harmony with all of that is like walking as a god in flesh. So yeah, knowledge of self is the truest gangster shit. Because when this whole world is flooded with lies, when you're constantly being flooded with confusion, when this world is trying to constantly strip you of your humanity, knowledge of self helps you stand unmoved. You can stand on your square. You can stand with a peace of mind because you know who you are. And when you know who you are, no one can shake you. No one can bait you into self-destruction. And no one can sell you back your own power. Gangsta shit is protecting life in the face of overwhelming death. Gangsta shit is standing on truth in a world full of lies. Gangsta shit is not just surviving the chaos, but creating order in the chaos. And then sharing that order with the community. That's abundance. That's sovereignty. That's the real gangster shit, because it multiplies life instead of drains it, instead of takes it away, instead of divides it. Now here's where it goes even deeper. There is a correlation between the collapse of capitalism and the death of street culture. They were always tied together. Street culture was never separate from capitalism. It was capitalism's shadow. It mirrored the same values: profits over people, greed over life, survival of the fittest over the collective. If capitalism glorified exploitation through Wall Street, then the streets glorified exploitation through the block. Scarcity and capitalism became hustling in the streets. Status symbols and capitalism became the cars, the chains, the outfits, and the hood. Violence in capitalism is war and police. Violence in the hood is gang beef. It's two sides of the same coin. And what did America do? It sold it back to us. Record labels and movie studios turned black pain into profit, into entertainment, making billions while our neighborhoods crumbled. Gangster rap, gangster movies, and all that gangster shit and entertainment was amplified, not to uplift us, but to keep us locked in to an image, into a stereotype. That was capitalism feeding on us, keeping us in character while the system cashed out. But now, capitalism is collapsing. The jobs are vanishing. Inflation is getting worse and worse. The American dollar is losing its meaning and its value every second. And just like that, the street culture is collapsing too. If the economy's broken, then who buys the chains? Who's buying dope? Who's paying to see somebody else flex? Nobody. When everybody's broke, the car, the chain, the status symbols just don't mean what they used to mean. And so now status is shifting from what you have to what you know and how you move. And the younger generations, they see it. That's why they would rather be viral than violent. Because one brings followers and opportunity, the other one just brings prison and a casket. The game is changing. The soil that fed the destructive gang culture, capitalism, is poisoned. And when the soil is poisoned, the plant is gonna die. You see, both systems, the streets and capitalism, are both built on exploitation, extraction, on death. Both are losing their grip because they can't sustain life. And at the same time, new things are being born. Just like how people are experimenting with new economies, barter systems, co-ops, new digital hustles, micro communities. People are redefining what gangster means. The gang becomes the village again. The hustle becomes creativity, spirituality, knowledge. Survival becomes sovereignty. So that's the correlation. The end of capitalism and the end of the street shit are part of the same dying paradigm. They're both signs that the old ways of exploitation are over, are collapsing. They don't have enough fuel to exist anymore, and new systems are being born. And if we're wise, we'll tap into some real gangster shit, which is knowledge of self, alignment with universal law, and the courage to create life out of death. That's gangster shit. That's some truth. And that's the kind of gang I want to be a part of.